Let's kick off our new conspiracy debunking series by dismantling one of the internet's most persistent delusions, flat earth theory. Now, flat earth theory isn't just a meme for you saying, well, duh, the earth isn't flat. Some people genuinely do believe this, especially online. Those people aggressively defend it. I've seen this firsthand on my own social media, which is actually what led me today to want to walk through 3 simple, indisputable proofs that the earth is a sphere. I think this is the easiest one for people to understand even without any scientific knowledge or a real stomach for scientific fact or explanation. So let's start here. If you want, you can test this yourself on something like Stellarium or Sky Guide. Super easy to observe. If you stand in the northern hemisphere and you look up in the same direction as someone standing in the southern hemisphere, you guys will see different constellations. In the northern hemisphere, you'll see Polaris. In the southern, you'll see the Southern Cross. This is only consistent in a globe model where the earth is a sphere and stars are geographically dependent, as we see different stars because of the curved surface and axial tilt of the earth. On a flat earth, the sky would look like this. Thus, no matter where you stand, if you guys are looking in the same direction, you would see the same stars. Again, this is inexplicable on a flat earth model. You can even look from 2 separate continents in the same hemisphere, say South Africa and Australia, and you'll both see the Southern Cross, but from different orientations and angles, again, only consistent with being on a sphere. You cannot explain this in a flat earth model. Okay, a bit of science does go into this one, so bear with me, but it's nothing too confusing. You would have learned this in elementary school. It's pretty easily comprehensible. Gravity is a force that pulls objects towards the center of objects with mass. A force in physics is just a push or a pull that can cause a change in an object's motion or shape. Things on Earth stay on the planet because the planet is a large body of mass. It being a sphere means we're constantly being pulled towards the Earth's core. That is important because gravity does not mean just pulled down. It's a misnomer that a lot of people have, but gravity is always perpendicular to the surface where we're being pulled to the core. It really just means towards the center of mass. That being understood, on a flat earth, it would disprove the model in that the center of mass would be the center of the disk. That means gravity would pull those on the edge inward, not straight down. Again, straight down misnomer, but the feeling would be towards the center on flat earth. Buildings at the edge would slant towards the center. Water would only flow in that direction, but we don't observe any of that, which is because we're not on a flat surface, thus disproving flat earth theory. Some people, to debunk this or push back against it, will say, well, gravity is just a theory and the answer is actually just density. You know, to say like gravity as a theory is wrong and density is the explanation. The problem with this is that things of different density fall at the same speed in a vacuum, showing that density isn't the force there. It has to be something else. A bowling ball and a feather will fall at the same speed. Also, air becomes less dense the higher you go up, so why don't things ever fall upwards if that's the explanation? And quickly, a law just describes the effect of what happens. It's often done mathematically, while a theory explains why and how it happens. But also, gravity is both observed as a law, like Newton's law of gravitation, and explained through theory, like general relativity. If you think gravity is fake, I mean, just jump. Okay, so the last one is time zones, and as I said, we're only discussing 3, and this is without going into the obvious proofs like the 24-hour sun in Antarctica or any NASA footage of the Earth, as I know flat earthers will just scoff at that and go fake, so I'm trying to stick more so to common sense questions of logic that show how the Earth being flat is impossible through our scientific understanding. And time zones might be one of the strongest indicators of this. Time zones literally exist because the Earth is a sphere that rotates. One rotation is approximately 24 hours. This is why we know it as a day. Daylight is created based on a region's proximity to the sun. When you're facing the sun, there is daylight. When you're not facing the sun, it is nighttime. This would be impossible on a flat Earth, as there would be a sort of local sun for everyone, meaning everyone would experience day and night at the same time. We know this doesn't happen, thus we can logically discount the possibility of the Earth being flat. The very concept of local time, where it's morning in New York and nighttime in Tokyo, only works if parts of the Earth are facing the sun while other parts are not. Sunsets also kind of go into this and also help debunk one of the common explanations flat earthers will try to give for this, which is, well, the sun goes in like a circular motion, and when it's further away from you, that's when it's night, and when it's closer, it's daytime. But again, If the sun was circling above a flat Earth, it would shrink as it went into the distance, like we see when we look at a plane flying or a train going down the train tracks and the train tracks converge, it would get smaller as it moves away. We don't see that. Instead, what we see is the sun dip below the horizon as it sets, which only happens if there's something obstructing our view. I don't know, like the curvature of Earth's horizon due to being a sphere. This of course then gets into the 24-hour sun in Antarctica and how only a rotating tilted sphere could explain that as well. But we don't have to dive into that again because flat earthers will just deny it, even though flat earthers recently went to Antarctica and witnessed this phenomena. They're just saying, well, they're in on the conspiracy. Hopefully this gives you a few simple, clear arguments the next time this comes up on social media or the dinner table. And if the video does well, maybe we'll do a part 2 because there's certainly more we could go into.